Pisces, how you getting on, guys? So we are back with your first half of July. I'm going to do this spread, I'm going to do this reading, and then the other reading that I'm going to do also pretty much straight after-ish is going to be your you versus them, which is going to be twin versus twin. Okay, we're going to see what's going on with different parts of the soulmate and all that kind of stuff. But that will be after this one, but this will be for your first half, from the 1st to the 15th, first half of July for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising on Venus. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising on Venus for the first half of July. So you've got wow, feeling really good, moving forward, feeling good. So that's great, because that is an ending of any kind of mind games, manipulation. There is no more control. It's just pure love. You've got Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, breaking down of the ego, like moving, traveling, wanting to go forward, wanting to meet the soulmate. This is the twin flame energy. Also the lovers, feeling like ecstatic again, feeling like you are born again, reborn by muse. Some of you could feel like you're their muse or they're your muse. This is 2 6s again, 6 to me. So I don't know, I'll pick that up for a strange reading, through a different reading, but 2 6s, which is great, because it's like the devil would represent 6. Okay, I hope you can see the devil would represent 6. Okay, so this is like breaking free of any codependency. There's no more restrictions left. There's an ending to that. There is no more. There's no more worry. There's no more panic. There's no more mind games. There's no more manipulation. There's no more fear that should actually be projected onto this union that seems to be forming through this period of time. There's a lot of love here. So the first card, meaning like the 6 of Wands, also reflection, meaning like you don't need, there is no like reflection from the past, because of a great card of the 10 being there, meaning like there's an ending to anybody that you might have seen as like egocentric or egotistical. There is no more of that. This is because this is the ego, so this is like attention, right? But it's like giving each other attention. Like there's no more like interference by any energy at the moment, because this is a 6 also, meaning like you've broke through a lot of codependency issues of the ego, of not listening to other people, static, Facebook, YouTube, family members or nothing. This is also like family members that would be very or people that you might be saying to that you might be traveling, or that you might be going forward on a project or an idea, but feeling really fucking good about the direction that it is that you're going to, or is coming to you. This is you versus them, either way. But like feeling really victorious over, like also your victors, meaning like I just don't mind anymore, like I'm just very caring and very giving, and I really want to put energy and effort into this union, because what we really talk about majority of the time is that we're both equally balanced with caring and sharing for one another. There are no mind games that are reflected through this period of time. So there's a hell of a lot of growth that seems to have happened, because this is a great card of like equality. I mean, I know it means Gemini, they could have it in your chart or their chart, but this is like charting a new course of destiny, because it would mean like you both have equality, because you both talk about equality, that you are both caring, you are both sharing for one another equally. So you might be talking about spiritualism. There could be some kind of differentiality between like spiritual belief, or I'm not even picking that up on religion, like, because this can relate to religion, because it can relate to like Adam and Eve. So you could be like both like godlike, but it's kind of the same, but maybe a little different, because of like feminine, masculine. The only like, but I'm picking up different as in like different ethnicity. I can never say that word. Religion or religious factors or anything like that. But because these are 2 6s back to back, this is like reflecting on the whole thing. It could mean a possible Pisces, because of 6 and 6 meaning 12 of the 12th house. So 12th house would also talk about past life relationships, is the 12th house. Okay, but 12th sign also meaning Piscean energy, but the 12th house would relate to past life that you met again from your past life, which is the soulmate energy, but like twin flame energy, which is like the lovers. But there's no more mind games or interference through anybody now, because somebody now sees you, or you see each other, to be honest. You see each other through the eyes and the windows and the doors and the eyes of the soul, through music, through connection, through spiritual, like that you feel like that you are reborn, like somebody, you might be into Muse, Reborn. Check out the song by Reborn by Muse. But seeing someone as your muse, like, you are my victory, you are my one and only, you are my one and only, nobody I'd rather be, because what I would rather be is you. We are merging together as actual union of one soul, because there is no more, like, betrayal. Like, you've both see a reflection in each other, where you've both come from the same path of maybe people that wanted to be, like, one over you, people that can have like that you are just like egocentric, like egotistical or egocentric can be too much, and it's like, oh, it's too much, I don't want that. Like, so pretty much like breaking through the ego, like the ego has been broke down through this reflection of this person that you're with, whether it be old or new. But the lovers normally represents new, because it represents like freedom of, like, fresh, because this can also represent somebody new that you have met or will meet or can meet, because it will always represent still a one, because it's ended. There is no more like interference, so we don't need to go on search for our 1% profit, because we've already reached it. We've reached a pinnacle point of where we've learned so much, but together, like together, we want to be together. Hi, my name is Jeffrey, and we want to be together. Right? That's great. 2 6s back to back. But because of the 6 also meaning the devil, you may have been indicative with a Capricorn energy, or an actual, like, devil energy of toxicity. So at the moment, I'm not picking up a Capricorn energy. I'm picking up, if it is with a Capricorn, it is with a Capricorn. But if it's not, what I'm seeing that as is, like, because they're 2 6s and there's no devil at the moment, is the fact that you've broke through boundaries. You've broke through boundaries. You've drawn a line in the sand and said, fuck it, Sid. There's no more offensive. You don't need to feel offensive or defensive against me. 13, which is 4. Yeah, 4, which is forming an alliance of 11-11, which would mean the twin flame, soulmate union, building a foundation, building a life. But because of, like, 6 and 6, like, I've drawn my line in my sand now. I draw my line. God, it's the song again from June, right? God, he changes everything. God, he sacrifices everything, 'cause I know you're gone, 'cause this is where I will draw my line. So someone drew a line in the sand and said, fuck it, Sid, where's the car buried? Well, it's in the sand. It's in the sand. Some of you could have been a driver or something. It's in the sand. Like, well, here's my car, she's buried in the sand. That was actually an old advert in the UK years ago. Where did you exactly bury the car? It's in the sand. Some of you could be, like, childlike, or want children, or have children. But you've come from something that you understood when the energy shift and changed, that you understood a lot about boundaries of, like, as what we do through Pisces, of me actually being one also, is the fact that it's very difficult for us to learn through boundaries, because a lot of us are very caring and sharing, nurturing, loving star sign, that represents Neptune. So through Neptune also that we've got in retrograde, there's been a lot of love connection that's been formed through that, where you've understood of what love really is about, and that it's not of offensive or defensive kind of feeling. So what you did was, there was a lot of things that happened post trauma is what I heard. Post trauma, where it could have been a post traumatic past, but you drew your line, and you drew a line in the sand and understood a lot about your worth of cutting that out. Of cutting that out, because what you did was, in order to reach from this 5, reach to this 6, you came from the 5, right? So you've arrived at a 6. So your arrival, the destination. So you came from conflict of where there was a lot of fighting and a lot of fucking, could be narcissism even. It could be like literal physical violence as the 5. It could just mean like stomach churning as a good spin, but as a bad spin, the 5 of Wands would have been like major conflict or fighting with someone, or physical violence or fighting, right? Where you drew your line in the sand. And then what you did was, through that energy shift, you got a reward, which is like the reward, which is like an energy shift of like, bing, karma. There you go. You've understood about release. You've understand that love is not a fight or a battle, and that you have to sacrifice everything in order to realize that, well, I'm gone, gone, gone. This is where I will draw my line. So you draw a line. You broke through. The breakthrough, the final breakthrough. It's the final countdown. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus for the first half of July. So there's a lot of coming together, breaking through codependencies of whether it's still with your old or with the new. There's still a lot of lessons that have been learned because it's ended. It's ended through that, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus for the first half of July. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus for the first half of July. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus for the first half of July. Pisces. There you go. So someone could have Leo in their chart. Wow, great. The King of Swords. You've got some major arcana cards. Wow. And you've got, wow, investment, reinvestment. So what am I seeing at the moment? I don't know why I'm seeing this as maybe a separating energy through the 10 here. So there's a lot of love. You've understood a lot about a lot of endings where there's been endings. Now, some of you could have experienced an ending with a actual Leo. If not, there's a chain where it wasn't a Leo, but it's ended, and now there is a beginning with a Leo, like a new Leo or an old Leo, right? Now, Strength and the King of Swords are people that are extremely strong and strong-willed is what I picked up. Strong-willed in order to fight against fucking darkness, to fight against darkness. Strength is roughly the counterpart to the devil, right? So what you've got is the fact that you've broke through this 6-6, which is mean codependency of anything like evil that was trying to stop this from coming into fruition. So at the moment, that's fucking great, because it's like the outside of bounds of here of breaking through anything that was codependent or restrictive, or like addictions or codependency, breaking through those. But the King of Swords and Strength are two leader-oriented people, where one would be, well, you would both be extremely intelligent, but like of higher counsel, but Strength, where one would have like really good ideas that would be like a masculine, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus, but basically someone that stands up as if to say, okay, well, I've got great fucking ideas, because this would be someone narcissistic that would use everything in its lowest vibration to use it against you. This would be someone that would use it in the right manner, that would stand up and show up as a leader and oriented person, a bit like the Emperor. Okay, so they would come up with great ideas, but there would be also a masculine quality where they would show up, but it would be spiritual counsel. It would be someone that owns their own business, a leader type sort of, oriented person. Could relate to court spiritualism, could relate to courts of law, all that kind of thing too, but religious also. But then you've got the sign of like Leo, which is that would put the backbone, but like the feminine, because it's a woman in here. So some of it could be a man or a woman, but it would be like, well, we can like really go forward on this, and we can actually fucking shout it and scream it like from the top of the hills, you know, we can tell everybody now. We can tell everyone. That's what I'm picking up through opening their mouth. Like, okay, well, just open. Some of you could be trying to say, listen, Leo, just open your mouth. Oh my God. But it's like taming a taming energy because of an ending, but very strong. I'm picking up like strongness of like strong will, like backbone. Like, well, I've got the fucking back. I've got the idea. Well, I've got the backbone in order to do it. You know, I've got the backbone. Well, I've got the idea. Well, I've got the idea, and I've got the backbone in order to tell you what I think and so have high kind of thing. You know, how can we merge this kind of energy together? So let's see, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for the first half of July. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus for the first half of July. If you've got Aries in your chart, look at Aries, because Aries just had a great extended reading. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and that's that just finished. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the first half of July. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the first half of July. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the first half of July. Wow, there you go. Ace of Cups. Wow. Opportunity of love. Wow, again, another lot of opportunity. This is a lot of, wow, this is like spiritual strength. And this is back, like reinvesting into things, like realizing a lot about yourselves, like reinvesting into businesses or ideas. Like also like there might be a bit of a waiting period, but like someone worth waiting for, or someone that you've got investment into businesses or anything like that. But this is like sorting out paperwork, traveling expenses, paperwork, documentation, passports. I ain't gonna be here for a little while, Pisces. I'm actually traveling. But passports, documentation. Talking about love, offering love, like a huge opportunity, like for like love. And wow, there's a lot of love here. The Lovers and the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. This is someone here, Gemini. Like this could be a Gemini that is like pure. Like you couldn't get any honest. And these two cards. Well, these cards here so far. This is someone that's very pure and honest, very loving and very giving. You've got Pisces energy, air sign energy, Leo, air sign energy, Gemini, fire sign. This could be Leo also here. You see Leo feeling like you are my person. You are the person I want to be with. You're the person I want to travel to see or come see me. Vice versa, the same. It's reflected back to one another. 6 and 6, 6 and 6, 6 and 6, 6 and 6. You know, but breaking through that 666 quality of the devil, like not giving in to temptation is the strength. We do not give in to temptation. We do not let anything destroy this union and this bond and bound that seems to be like forming a strength reliance of like a bank account would be the King of Swords and the strength, where you would merge and use that energy like strongly together. But also because you also have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords, these are still very good opportunities, but they're also meaning like the Ace of Swords cuts away and does not fuck about with anything that's to do with control, because it cuts away Lucifer. This is the Archangel Michael sword, meaning like it's divinely guided, it's divinely protected by spirit also. You know, these cards would really represent the main energies that would cut away the devil, that would cut away anything that's not pure for a reflectant of each other. Like you are both pure, you are both experienced endings as the same time as what you begin this journey together, but very strongly and independently. Like you would both work like the King of Swords and the Strength would be like people that work on their own, because they're very lone own type owners, like owners. They would own different things and they would like to be like partially alone in the businesses that they do, but they would also be very good as a reliance of doing it together, but they would do things like a little differently. So I have a little bit of this, you have a little bit of that. Well, I will put the fire and passion into the relationship. Well, I will put the ideas and the forward movement of the intellect into spiritual counsel, or into ideas of how we could go forward on this relationship, or how we could go forward on this project or idea. And then I will have the motivation to motivate the King of Swords to actually move off his, well, throne here, but off your ass. Get off your ass then, and then all the ideas that you have, get off your ass and put a bit of pep in your step, would be the idea of Leo, the strength of Leo, of pushing that forward. Understanding, well, okay, well, I've got great ideas. Have you? Well, then this is what we do then. We do this. Yeah, that's a great idea. Bosh. Okay, well, get off your ass and move. You know, well, you should do this. You should do that. That's great. Equality. But someone that you wouldn't mind telling you or asking you to do that, that would be this energy, because it would be reciprocated through the Lovers. But it would also be reciprocated through the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords, of breaking through codependency, of through boundaries, of where you draw your line and then your dreams and wishes come true through the Lover's energy, and the ending of a Ten of Swords, where there's no more manipulation or mind games. There is no more Five of Swords, where there's no more conflict or battle through this period of time, where you've dropped all those people that fight or blame or just carry conflict or blame, fucking fighting or anything. It's done, it's over. It's now progressing, a union of spiritual union, and also great opportunities in any field at the moment of Ace of Cups and Ace of Swords. This just doesn't mean like a love offer. This can mean like any kind of like big opportunity, any opportunity. And this can mean like any opportunity. But it's also like I'm traveling and wanting to do this because of this great opportunity that is pronounced to me, where we could do this together, but we could love each other, one another, through the Ace of Swords of documentation, paperwork, but also merging together as a double-edged sword, where we would both do it together, and we would still continue to cut away this energy of the darkness. And then what we would do is we would reinvest and implant into investment into businesses or anything like that. Okay, so that's your reading so far, Pisces. I know people go, oh no, but a lot of you have, and I very much do appreciate it, have joined over on Patreon. Still the same, your monthlies are still over there, this will be over there, and your twin, you versus them, will also be over there, and I'll try and separate that for whether you're in union, you're not in union, if you're just on your path, if you're not, and people will relate to different things, and then I'll do what comes between you, blah, 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 but that will be through you versus them. At the moment, this is your first half. It's looking great. It still will be over on Vimeo under the weeklies, okay? Your monthlies are still there. If you've just found the channel, your monthlies are over in your monthly folder. But obviously, if you join Patreon, you get opportunity to watch everything for as long as you like, and that's your monthlies and all these readings that I will be doing. Okay, if you would like a personal reading, the link is in the description for the email. I can do a Skype call that's pretty much like this, where you can ask questions and we can build up a rapport through you telling me what that means, and then we can break down that code, where I can hopefully channel some messages for you to bring it more into fruition, that I can have an understanding of where we could talk. Okay, or I can just do a video or whatever it is that you would like. But all the stuff is in the description. And thanks very much for your support. But that's looking great at the moment, Pisces. We'll see how this progresses through the rest of the month. It might extend over it, who knows, but energy is very fluid. So we'll go with the first half at the moment. Okay, all right, guys, peace.